Hello everyone and welcome for joining us to the 2020 Showmen's Carny Bowl Charity Tournament. I am your host and tournament director, Tristan Gates. A little bit about me, I'm the host of the Gyroverse podcast, which you can find on YouTube and Facebook. I have been throwing here in Tampa for the last 3 to 4 years, and I'm excited to be able to bring you my very first tournament-directed event. First and foremost, I'd like to go into a couple thank yous to some of our sponsors as well as the course in general. So first and foremost, I would like to thank Matt Lane for allowing us to use the course, and as well as the Independent International Showmen's Association, who hosts this course on their own property. I'd also like to thank our prizes, the people who make our prizes. So we have Zuka carts, Grippy Q bags, Latitude 64, Discmania, Rip Revenge, Innova, Thought Space Athletics, Streamline Discs, DFX Limited, and last and certainly not least, I'd like to thank all of you guys for participating in this. We'll go over what the tournament format is first, and then we'll go through a list of the holes and any sort of things that you need to worry about for those holes. So our format is going to be, this is an unsanctioned tournament, which means we are not necessarily limited to some of the rules that are apply to sanctioned tournaments, like alcohol consumption and such. It is a 1-round tournament. It is a flex start that starts from 8 and goes till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The last card will be teeing off at 3 p.m. That way we can get over to the after party so that we can pull raffle prizes and you guys can hang out. There is in this tournament mulligans. You must announce to your card that you do have mulligans before heading out so that they know to prepare for them and to expect them. Before you use your mulligan, you must announce to the card that you are using your mulligan. And if you do not use your mulligans by the end of the round, then you lose them. So make sure that you're using them for those missed putts that we know that you're going to make. And then lastly on mulligans, you must purchase them before the round. If you do not purchase them before the round, you cannot use mulligans during the round in an expectation to purchase them after the round is over. Next up, aces. There is an ace pot. However, unlike most tournaments where the ace pot will be a cash reward, this one will be rewards entirely in raffle tickets. So we will be taking the ace pot dollar amount, converting it over into raffle tickets, and splitting it among all the people who earn aces. If you get 2 aces in a round and nobody else gets any aces, then you earn the whole pot. If you only get 1 ace in a round and nobody else gets any aces, you earn the whole pot. If you get 2 aces and someone else gets 1, you will get 2/3 of the pot and that other person will get 1/3 of the pot, so on and so forth. All right, next we're going to go over the holes and some of the OBs and mandos that you need to worry about. So hole 1, we're going to be throwing to the yellow basket, and there is an OB fence past the basket. If you go over the fence, you will play it where it goes out. If you did not see where it went out, you trust the card and the players that are on your card to figure out exactly where you went out. And you will get a 1 meter relief off of the fence. Hole 2, we are playing to the yellow basket. And there is an OB beyond the hole. There's a fence behind the hole. Again, when you go wherever you go out, that is where you'll play it from. And you get 1 meter relief off of the fence. There is also a mandatory on hole 2, which is on a pole to the left of the fairway. You must play to the right of that pole. Please also do not hit the garage that is on the hole as well. Hole 3, we'll be playing to the yellow basket. Hole 4, we will be playing to the yellow basket. There is out of bounds in the pond that is in the woods on the deep end of the fairway. I don't expect anyone to actually make it in there, but in the event that you do, the disc will be out of bounds if it is completely covered by water or not found. And you will get 1 meter relief off of the pond, and you would throw with an OB stroke. There's also a mandatory on hole 4, though I don't think it should come into play for many folks, that is on the right side of the hole on a tree. You must play to the left of that tree. In the event that you don't go, or in the event that you don't make it past the Mandos for hole 2 and 4, you will be playing next to the Mando inside of that Mando. So if you're playing to the right on hole 2, then you would play inside of the Mando on hole 2. Same thing on hole 4, but you would be playing on the left side of that Mando. Hole 5 will be playing to the yellow basket. Hole 6 will be playing to the yellow basket, and then there is a fence deep on hole 6, though that goes into hole 16's tee pad, so I'm not expecting that that's going to happen, but in the event that it does, again, you get where it went out, 1 meter relief in from the fence. Hole 7 will be playing to the yellow basket. Hole 8 will be playing to the yellow basket. There is an out of bounds on the right, deep, and left side of where the hole is. In the event that you go out, you will be playing from where you went out with a 1 meter relief in from any of those fences. There's also a mandatory pole on hole 8 that you need to play to the left of the pole. If you do not make it past the left of the pole, you will then be teeing off again with a mandatory stroke from the left side of that pole. Hole 9, we will be playing to the yellow basket, which on the previous screen capture was the top basket that I was standing next to. Hole 10, you will be playing to the red basket. And again, there is a fence past hole 10 that you would play where it went out with a 1 meter relief in. Hole 11, you'll be playing to the red basket. Again, there's a fence past hole 11. You'll be playing where it went out with a 1 meter relief in. There is also the mandatory on hole 11 as well. You will be playing to the right of the pole. If you do not make it past the mandatory, you will play to the right side of the mandatory, just inside of that pole. After hole 11, we'll start going into the back holes, or the new holes as the UDisc calls it. You'll be going to hole A. Hole A does not have a permanent tee pad in it yet. It is a carpet tee pad, so just be aware of that. It is between holes 11 and 12 on a driving path that heads into the back of the property. The A does have a OB fence on the left-hand side of the hole, which is protecting holes 11 and 2. That is OB. So if you go out of bounds across over the fence, and it stays over the fence, then you will take it from where it went out, 1 meter relief in. Hole B, we will be playing to, hole A, B, and C, which are the 3 back holes, only have 1 basket. So all 3 of those you will be playing to only the yellow basket. So hole B, yellow basket. Hole C, you'll be throwing over a pond. So in the event that your disc gets in the pond, you will take it from the drop zone that is on the other side of the pond with an OB stroke penalty. In the event that you don't feel comfortable throwing over the pond, you are allowed to tee off from the drop zone. However, you will take a 2-stroke penalty, so from the drop zone you will be throwing your 3rd stroke. Hole 12, we will be playing to the red basket. Hole 13, you will be playing to the red basket. There is, again, an out of bounds in that same pond from hole C in the woods on the left. In the event that you go in and you're completely surrounded by water, you get an OB stroke and 1 meter relief in off of the pond. There is also a mandatory on hole 13, which does come more into play, which is that tree on the right-hand side. If you do not make that tree, you will go to just inside of the tree, throwing with an OB stroke. Hole 14, we will be playing to the red basket. I would like to caution, hole 14 does have a giant tunnel. The actual end of the tee pad where you're throwing off is outside of the tunnel. We don't want people to be swinging their arms around and hitting the edge of the tunnel. That could cause damages to your hand and to the tunnel itself, depending on how strong your hand is. So We don't want you to be injured by that. So make sure that when you're teeing off, you are teeing off from outside of the tunnel. Hole 15, we will be playing to the red basket. Again, OB deep over the cross of the fence, past 16's tee pad. If you go out, you get 1 meter, or you go out, you play from where you went out and you get 1 meter relief in. Hole 17, we will be playing to the, hole 16 will be playing to the red basket. Hole 17 will be playing to the red basket. Again, there is OB to the right, deep, and left of the hole. You play where it went out with a 1 meter relief in. There is also a mandatory on hole 17. In the event that you don't hit the mandatory, you will be moving to just inside the mandatory on the left-hand side. Hole 18, we will be playing to the red basket, which will be the bottom basket of the previous camera video position that I was at. One thing to note, hole 18 does have a mandatory as well on a tree. You will be playing to the left of that tree. If you don't make that mandatory, you tee off from 9's tee pad with the same mandatory regulations of losing 1 stroke. Next thing I want to mention is division winners. So this is an unsanctioned tournament, but we will be giving out prizes for people who are winning in their divisions. We'll be paying out raffle tickets to the top 15% of people that win their division, rounded up. And because you may or may not be here when that happens, we will make sure that we set aside your tickets and that you will be made aware that you have won the division before we go into the raffle drawings. Also want to mention that for the ace pot, that we will be taking all of the money that is put into the ace pot and converting it into raffle tickets that will be added into the raffle pot during that time as well. The raffle will be streamed online in the Facebook group for Showmen's Disc Golf Course. In the event that we are having issues with live streaming, I will record the raffle drawing, post it to the page later on, and then message all of you guys via email to that you have won, if you have won any prizes. There is one stipulation on the raffle. You are not allowed to win any of the what we call grand prizes more than once. So you will not be able to win the Zuka cart and the Grip EQ bag as well. In the event that we do draw the same person's name twice, we will put that ticket back in the raffle drawing and draw another name until we find a new winner. And the last thing that I want to mention is, as I'm sure you all are aware of, we are living in unprecedented times with this COVID epidemic. And while I know that you're all tired of hearing it, we do need to make sure that we are doing our due diligence for COVID concerns. So that means maintaining social distancing, wearing a mask when applicable, and making sure that we are not touching another player's discs unless it is absolutely allowed by them. We don't want to be one of those super spreader events or spreading around a virus to the entirety of the disc golf community. So please, please, please make sure that you are abiding by those rules. If you do not abide by those rules, the tournament directors are allowed to remove you from the tournament and you will get a refund on your money. That all being said, I thank you so much for participating in the 2020 Showmen's Carny Bowl charity tournament and can't wait to see all those aces.